During my year plus on Veve, there have been a lot of things that have gone extremely well, but at the same time, there have been a lot of things that I really wish I knew, and I could have capitalized so much more on this amazing opportunity. So this video today will be what I wish I knew if I was a new Veve user. So if you're new, this video is perfect for you. If you've been around for a while, if you're a veteran like me, then I still think there's things that you can pull away and things that you can learn from this video.
Let's go, bro.
What's going on, guys? My name is NFT Flenny, and thank you so much for joining me today. Without any further ado, we're getting straight into the list. Thing number one that I wish that I knew, and that is that there will always be more opportunities. Do not feel like this is the only chance for something or that the boat's gonna sail tomorrow. I've lived so much of my Veve life thinking that today is the day. This is the week it's all gonna blow up. It's all gonna get out of reach. And I've been thinking that for over a year. There used to be a few collectibles that used to be affordable that are now not. So if you didn't capitalize on your chance back then you know you're out of luck. And here's an example of that. So the day after Walt dropped, he was in the market for about 1.5 to 2.5, depending on when you looked. But right when the market opened, it was sitting around 2,000 gems. And throughout the day, it just kept going up and up and up. And I'm not sure where it capped out, but the first few hours, it was 2K. That was the first and only time that we've ever seen Walt that low. So if you really wanted Walt and you waited when it was that low, then you know you'd miss your chance. But in general, there are major swings in the market. I'm talking overall market trends. There are so many swings, so many up and downs. Your time will likely come back around. So my advice here would be just don't get too caught up in the FOMO when things are going up, and don't get too caught up in the FUD when things are going down. Now, the second thing that I wish I knew was that flipping is essential if you want to keep upgrading, if you want to keep expanding your collection. For the longest time, I was not flipping for two main reasons. And that is A, I'm not very confident in my flipping abilities. I thought I would mess something up. I thought I would, lose gems, go negative, lose some really valuable collectibles. So I was mainly just nervous. But what I would say to that, just really quickly, is that practice makes perfect, and you can't get better at something unless you practice. So if you're nervous like I am and was, I would say just start off slow. Start with a few collectibles that you don't care too much about, or, set some money aside that is flipping money that you're not going to spend unless you're able to flip it up. But experience is the greatest teacher. But that was just a little side note. The second reason that I was not flipping was because I mentioned this before, but I thought that these collectibles were about to be unattainable at any day. So I was way too nervous to sell something and go, oh, okay, I'll buy it back in a week. I'll buy it back in a month. Because in my head, a week and a month was we're blowing up. But here's the reality, guys. If you want to keep buying these blue chips, if you want to keep participating in these drops, if you want to keep being active in the market and buying the things that you want to buy and buying the things that you think will be valuable, then flipping is extremely, extremely necessary. Unless you have a bottomless bank account, it will be impossible to keep up with the drops. Believe me, guys, take it from me. I tried my best to keep up as long as I could without flipping at the start, and it's just so hard. You will run your bank account dry so quickly. So, if you're able to do it, if that's what you like to do, by all means do it. But I think for most people, it's financially necessary to keep flipping within the market and not just keep pumping gems into your account from your bank account or from your credit card, whatever. So here's why it is so important to keep flipping if you want to continue to scale up your collection as Veve grows in terms of user base, but also grows in terms of development and new features. It may not seem like it at this current moment in time, but there has been a common trend among Veve collectibles, especially the early ones, especially the first appearances, the first editions, is that if you really zoom out and you look at the long-term charts, it is basically just nothing but up. I know there's been a dip recently, but long-term, if you would have got in, a year ago, 6 months ago, chances are you're doing pretty well, again, if it was some solid collectibles. The reason why I'm saying that in relation to flipping and why it's so important is because things have gotten so much more expensive as time has gone on. So before, okay, here's a really good example. The first ever Disney drop, the Golden Moment, Homer and Bart, that one. Homer and Bart were selling for less than retail as soon as they hit the market. Nowadays, for a collectible in the same caliber as a Golden Moment, that is just unheard of. That would need to be a mistake if we're able to get something like that for under retail. But times were different back then. Things were cheaper, And that's an extreme example. Not everything would go for below retail, but so many things would be just above, or they'd be somewhat attainable. But now for a lot of the blue chips, they start off in the thousands if you want to get them in the market. So the reason I'm saying flipping is so important is because as the user base continues to grow, prices grow with it. And the increased prices on the secondary market get baked into the cake now that we have so many more users. So being able to pay out of pocket for something like that if you miss a drop, it's going to be dang near impossible, especially on a weekly basis. The main takeaway from this is that just buying and holding is not going to be enough if you want to continue to collect the best of the best that Veve will be putting out. And that is the perfect segue into my next section, the next thing that I wish that I knew, and that is that you cannot hold everything. I keep referencing, the old days. Things were different earlier on in Veve's life cycle. Drops came once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. There weren't comics dropping all the time. The IP was a lot smaller and less expensive for the most part. And of course, like I mentioned, prices were more affordable, so it was more realistic to think that this was possible. But I used to want to get every set. I wanted to get every comic. I wanted to get all that I could. And as you can imagine, trying to do that for a year plus is just not possible unless, again, you have an endless bank account, which the vast majority of us don't. So the quicker that you can get it in your head that you're going to miss out on things, you're going to miss opportunities, you're not going to be able to hold that set you want, you're not going to be able to get that secret rare, the sooner that you can accept that and be okay with it, I would say the better. I know that sounds kind of a little bit sad, but it's true. It'll really stop you from making irrational decisions or really getting down on yourself and just looking for the next opportunity, looking ahead to see what's on the horizon instead of just sulking about what you missed out on, because I've done that a little bit, not gonna lie to you. So if you can't buy everything, what should you buy? And I'll make more videos on this about my philosophy or what you should really look for, what's gonna do well long term. But just as a rule of thumb, really quickly, I would say that big IP, Disney, Marvel, Da Vinci, first appearance, first edition, historical significance, all of those things really help the long-term value and make them stand out from their other counterparts, their other NFT collectible counterparts. Like for example, we already have about, this is just a random guess, like 15 to 20 Batmans on the app, but look at the price of them compared to the price of Todd. And it's not even a thing about editions or whatever, because Todd has over 7,000 editions. So it's because it's the first ever Batman, the first ever Veve NFT, etc., etc. What I'm trying to say is that Todd is a first appearance Batman, which means it has more significance, which is why its price is higher than the other Batmans. So if you really need to narrow it down, those are a few criteria that I really use myself. And I would also say that those are the safest bets in terms of your investment. Not financial advice, never financial advice. So I know for a lot of this video, I've been talking about, oh, back in the day this, oh, things used to be this way, oh, it's changed so much. I know I've been saying that, and those things are true, but this is the last thing I want to say to a new Veve user that I think is really, really important. And that is that we are still so early. Do not feel like because you missed out on Todd or you missed out on Secret Rare Spider-Man or you missed out on Walt that there's nothing in store for you, that there's no possibility for you. The NFT space is still brand spanking new. I bet you 99.9% of the world population could not explain to you in detail what an NFT is. They might have heard it, but even then, I bet you like 90% of the population doesn't even know what NFT stands for. So just keep that in mind. We are so far ahead of the general population coming into this, and we're still in the infancy stages of the technology. So there's so much more possibility and so much more on the horizon. A lot of people don't jump into things until it's already established, until it's already proven, until it's already successful. But if you're watching this video right now or in the near future, or probably within the next couple of years, to be honest with you, we are still super early, and there are endless opportunities out there, and not only Veve, but in the entire NFT space. I personally think that Veve is the safest long-term bet, but there are so many more projects that you could definitely do well on, do even better than Veve. But I just tend to stick more so with Veve because I trust the licensed aspect of it. I trust the team. I trust investing in big brands. I trust the fact that the world's biggest brands trust Veve. I extend my trust through affiliation. If the Veve app and the Ecomi token and all that can get through Disney's army of lawyers, then I feel extremely comfortable investing in what this project puts out. Here are a few things on the horizon for the Veve app that I think will make it leaps and bounds ahead of the competition and better than it is today. and will make it so much more exciting and engaging and really bring that spark back that we had earlier on in this Veve journey. So we have the money transmitter license, MTL, which will allow us to cash out for real cash, not just gems. I think this will be huge because it'll give Veve more credibility. It'll make it a fully looped ecosystem. People can put money in, take money out. I know it's anecdotal, but I personally know multiple people who have been waiting to get into Veve strictly for this one feature alone. And I know there are probably a ton of people out there who think that not being able to cash out, but you can put money in, seems kind of scammy or kind of sketchy. Next, we have the Master Collector program, which will reward collectors for collecting, which I think has been a big gaping hole in this app so far, and something that they've been talking about for a long time that we have not seen. And there are just hardly any, if any, real benefits to holding collectibles beyond just the investment and being able to put it in AR, which for some people that's enough. But adding on extra layers of rewards and gamification will really shift the dynamics and will add more value to these collectibles beyond just the IP or the art. So I mentioned how there's currently no real rewards for holding collectibles, and that is slightly not true because there have recently been some airdrops. We don't get many, but we recently got some with Matt Gondek's Deadbeats. So if you were holding the Failure of Control painting, and if you were also holding the weapons rack set, then you got airdropped a secret rare collectible from the new Deadbeats drop. And that is exactly what I wanted to talk about next, which is airdrops, which will be coming soon and more frequently. And I think this is really exciting because it gives people who are fans of a specific genre or artist or a collectible, if they get airdropped to more of those, it's a fun way to expand your collection and to get rewarded for holding certain things that you like. And everybody loves free stuff, so I think this will just make things so much more exciting, and I'm really looking forward to seeing more kinds of airdrops, especially for some bigger brands. I think that'd be really exciting, and it will incentivize people to hold on to their collectibles, which will make them more scarce in the market, which could potentially raise prices. I'm not sure about that, but if people are holding for airdrops or for master collector points, they will be more scarce in the market. And with that added value of, oh, you might be able to get some more free NFTs if you're holding this, might make people either think twice about selling at all, or if they do sell, they'll want to sell for a higher price because of what they'll be missing out on with future airdrops or that kind of thing. Next is Omi to NFT. So if you don't know, Omi is the cryptocurrency that runs the Veve app in the background, and it will also be used to power other NFT apps, which the team has mentioned. I won't get into that. But Omi is a cryptocurrency that is linked with Veve, powers Veve, and you can buy it, sell it, just like a normal crypto. But what's really cool and something that we'll see in the near future is being able to buy NFTs with Omi. So this will change so much of how the market works and so much of the dynamics. Say someone has $100 worth of Omi, that $100 is now worth 100,000. Think about how much more capital, how much more purchasing power that person has that they can now insert into the Veve market, into the Veve ecosystem. And we'll also have people who would sell their collectibles for maybe a cheaper amount in Omi than it would go for in dollars in the current day. But maybe that person thinks that Omi long-term will do way better than their NFT, so they want to sell. It's just going to change so many things. It's going to stimulate the market. It's going to open up so many possibilities and bring in all kinds of people, especially the big-time crypto people. And another huge thing is interoperability, whether that is being able to move your collectibles to your own wallet, whether that is being able to sell them on Ethereum, whether that's being able to take them into the metaverse, whenever that might be, and use them into games or get entry into events, whatever it might be. Having interoperability with these collectibles is, in my opinion, really the essence of NFTs. And one of the main reasons why I believe so strongly in the future of NFTs is because they are so much more than just collectibles. As of right now, that might be what they are exclusively, but what you can add on to the tech, I think, is so exciting and will open up so many doors. And the fact that these companies make royalties on these collectibles means that they'll have incentives in place to make them tradable, usable. They're not gonna just want to sell it and then have people just hang on to it forever and nothing ever happens. They're gonna be incentivized to have these being traded a lot. And the more expensive they are, the more often they get traded, the more royalties that these companies make. So that's why I think that they'll put time and effort and resources into making these interoperable and making them fun and sought after and valuable. And just think, when we can buy Veve collectibles with Ethereum or on Immutable X, it's gonna open up so many doors, and the market is just gonna instantly increase so much whenever these features get implemented. I think each of these features independently will be major catalysts, but think about when these are all working together and all these are fully integrated onto the app, into the experience. I think this is going to catapult Veve to a new stratosphere, and you are not going to want to wait until that happens before you jump in. If somebody would have told me these tips a year ago, I would be in much better shape, but that's part of the experience. Hopefully my experiences could help you guys out on your Veve journey. If you enjoyed the video, a like, comment, subscription would be greatly appreciated. My name is NFT Flenny, and I'm out, guys. Peace.